This is Ecclesiastes 7 and 26. And it says, I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart ensnares, whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth God shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. I like to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostle elders, a great millstone who rule well, and salutations to all you brothers out there pushing this word in love, truth, sincerity, and humility. Once again, it's the brother Shatia from the Chicago camp, coming back to you with what I hope is another quick and edifying sit down. And this scripture was inspired by something I saw on World Star. And man, it says, my wife hired a hitman. So I faked my own self-deletion. It says Mexican, which she's really not, as she's an Issacharite. But Issacharite woman finesses man for visa citizenship, then puts a hit on him after marriage. Fellas, let me read that again. And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart, her mind, is snares and nets, traps. And what's one of these traps? Finessing men for money and visa, in this case, and her hands as bands. Okay? Her hands is always trying to entangle and trap him. Whoso pleaseth God shall escape from her, which he did, but the sinner shall be taken by her. Fellas, hey, I know a lot of times we be like, the hell with Keisha, and there's a lot of comments that I say, hey, that's why I be sticking with my Latina sisters. We understand where you coming from, but this is why we also have to tell you brothers out there, fellas, it's not just Keisha. All right. Josefina be on that bullshit too. And we're gonna play all of this, but we're gonna inject some scripture in, because stuff like this needs to come out in general. But we also have to show you brothers that, as I said before, it's not just Keisha. Josefina is on that bullshit too. Okay? Let's let this play.
He said, no, I'm serious. I've seen that look in people's eye when they want to kill somebody, and she wants to have you killed.
She's probably one of the coldest individuals that I've run across in my law enforcement career.
She used her mind games to get to me.
When we told Ramon
She used her mind games. Ecclesiastes 7 and 26. And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart, her mind, is snares and nets, her mind games. She used her mind games to get to me. Let's let this go.
Ramon that he was going to have to lay inside of a ditch and wear makeup, he was kind of in disbelief.
Yeah, right here. I still remember like it was yesterday. This is where I literally walked on my own grave. One time we were so in love, and now I have to fake my death so she could get arrested. My name is Ramon Sosa, and I faked my death because my wife tried to have me killed. I met Lulu back in 2007. She was a mother of two, divorced, had been in an abusive relationship, and she just moved here for a better life. She caught my eye. She was very beautiful and danced very well. I remember her having some high heels that must have been like 3 or 4 inches, and she stepped on my toe, and oh my God, it was like very, very painful. And there was so many red flags in hindsight, but yeah, she was definitely going to, get my attention one way or another. We had...
Fellas, how many times do we have to tell you, you got to vet these chicks out? First red flag, because he's talking about red flags. 1, she's a single mother of 2 children. Already, that's a no-no. Okay? That is a no. I'm not saying that you can't You can't pursue that, but you have to remember that those two children are not yours. And if you get in a relationship with this woman, those two children never have to respect you. They never have to respect you. And two, she was in an abusive relationship. Well, my thing was, and I know a lot of females gonna get butthurt over this, but he was the abuser. Was it him or was it the wife? Who was the abuser? Okay. And if it was the guy, well, did you file a restraining order? Did you take him to trial for trying to get full custody? Did you develop some type of record that shows that you made every attempt to try to make the relation work, but it did not? There's also other cool questions, but see, this is the reason why, as I said before, fellas, you got to vet these chicks, man. You can't go on the hope strategy. You can't be going about being with women, being all in love, and then all your reasoning just goes out the window. It's as the scripture says when you go to the book of First Ezra, First Ezra, and what's it? What was it? First Ezra 4 and it's in here. Yep, here it is. I'm gonna start at First Ezra 4 and oof. First Ezra 4 and 14. It says, O ye men, it is not the great king, nor the multitude of men, neither is it wine that excelleth. Who is it then that ruleth them, or hath the lordship over them? Are they not women? Women have borne the king, and all the people bear rule by sea and land. Even of them came they, and they nourished them up that planted the vineyards from whence the wine cometh. They also make garments for men, they bring glory unto men, and without women cannot men be. Yea, and if men have gathered together gold and silver or any other goodly thing, do they not love a woman which is comely in favor and beauty? And letting all those things go, do they not gape? I was struck by her beauty. She stepped on my toes. She was going to get me either way. And it says, and even with a open mouth, fix their eyes fast on her. She was beautiful. And have not all men more desire unto her than unto silver or gold or any goodly thing whatsoever? A man leaveth his own father and brought him up and his own country and cleaveth unto his wife. In this case, she left her country. Okay, and it says he sticks not to spend his life with his wife and remembereth neither father nor mother nor country. But this also you must know, that women have dominion over you. Do ye not labor and toil and give and bring all to a woman? Yea, a man taketh his sword and goeth his way to rob and steal, to sell upon the sea and upon rivers, and looketh upon a lion and goeth in the darkness, and when he hath stolen, spoiled, and robbed, he bringeth it to his love. Wherefore a man loveth his wife better than father and mother, yea, And see, this is the main point, but everything I said earlier is going to come into play as the video keeps going. All right. And it says, yea, many there be that have run out of their wits, going on the hope strategy, going in love for women, and become servants for their sakes. Many also have perished, have erred, and sinned for women. So this man, she looked beautiful. All right, she knew how to dance. She had all the right weaponry to get this dude in the days, fellas. Man, you cannot do that shit in this day and age, man. It will literally get your ass killed. The scripture says, let these laws, statutes, and commandments be frontlets in front of thy eyes, meaning you got to filter everything through the scripture. And what's one of the things that the scripture says? That you should not, what was it? Desire not a woman for her beauty, and that the whoredom of a woman may be known by her eyelids. All right, that's what the scripture says. Yep. Ecclesiastes 25 and 21. It says, stumble not at the beauty of a woman and desire her not for pleasure. So he was all infatuated with this woman. I mean, this dude was through. So let's continue to let this play.
We had a small wedding, and I never forget her mother walking up to me, just whispered in my ear, now she's your trouble, and walked away.
Now, see, that was also another red flag. The mother told her, now she's your trouble. Now, see, he was too far gone in love where he couldn't see the forest from the trees. By this time, you know she already put that vaginal voodoo on the guy. So this dude is completely gone. He think he done found a diamond in the rough. But we're going to soon see what's going to happen. Let's continue to let this play.
Well, this is where it all happened. I mean, brings back a lot of memories being back over here.
Hi guys, my name is Lulu Sosa.
And I'm Ramon Sosa, head coach boxing.
Welcome to Women's Boxing and Fitness.
This was our gym at the time. She was very helpful. You know, she basically took care of the gym. But then as the relationship went on, and she saw how well we were doing financially, and she was already here legally. She was here on a visitor's visa from Mexico City, and then she became an American citizen after 3 years. I was beginning to think that she didn't need me anymore, that she wanted it all without me. It was going downhill quick.
Let's get the scripture on that. In the New Testament, Yahushua said it the best. Let me just do this is 1 Timothy 6 and 10. It says, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. So this man is talking about, man, this chick helped me build. We got a business together. As I read to you in First Ezra, the 4th chapter, okay, all these things that a man does, get a business, help her get started, make sure she's financially straight. And he said once she starts seeing how well they were doing in their business, he was like, damn, Now she got a visa. Uh-oh. She done switched up the game on. He's like, I had a feeling she don't need me anymore. Read this again. 1 Timothy 6:10. For the love of money is the root of all evil. He said she saw all that dough coming in. She like, oh, okay. She was like, all right, this is looking really good. Shit. All right. All right, yeah. I don't think I might need him anymore. Now I'm legal. I got that visa. I'm officially a citizen. Woo. Oh, yeah. It's time for the big plan to come into action. Let's let this play.
There was no option but to go get a divorce. It was late that evening. I was already at home, and this young man named Mundo just happened to walk into a conversation that my wife, Lulu, at the time, was having out of all people with her daughter in my office about a young man in the gym that has people in Mexico that chops up people for money. And Lulu made the gesture like, maybe we can use them. And Mundo, he said, well, I got the people that can do the job. And that's when Mundo, the next day, he called me, and I thought he was joking because he said, "Hey, you call me Pops. Hey, Pops, this lady, she wants to kill you." And I said, "What are you talking about?" Talking about Lulu. She wants to kill you. And then on top of that, right after that conversation I had with Mundo, I had to go home and see this lady, knowing that she wanted to kill me.
All right. And see, Mundo, man, hey, man, that guy Mundo fits this scripture to a T. Adversity. What's that? I know how to put this. There's a whole lot of those. What is it? These are not the ones that I want, but these are good. I wanted these for another part, but it's what's it? Adversity. Basically, a faithful friend is only known in adversity. Friend, no, because this guy was definitely in a situation where this could have ended up very bad. Let me put it on pause and find it. Here it is. It's just worded differently than what I thought. This is Ecclesiasticus, sometimes referred to as Sirach 12:8. And it says, a friend cannot be known in prosperity. All right. This guy Mundo worked for him for years. And it just so happened the Lord put him in a place where this guy is heavily afflicted. Because now he knows that the woman that he's so madly in love with wants to delete him. Okay. All right. Put him to death. And it says, a friend cannot be known in prosperity, and an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity. His own wife. Scripture says, okay, a person's foes will be them of their own household. Now, that's first and foremost talking about people in the truth. But this also applies to a general sense that a lot of times many of your own enemies will be in your household. Even King David said, man, there's a lot of things that I can take. He was like, I can deal with running from the enemy, tongue lashes by my enemy, scorning by my enemy. But he was like, man, all those things I could take. But man, when it comes from my own household, I was crushed. It's roughly paraphrasing the whole story. Well, yeah, his own enemies was them of his household. And see, that's why the scripture says you got to be careful uh, uh, about lying in the bosom, because this chick is trying to put you to death. Let me put it on pause and find it. All right, I found it. This is Micah 7 and 5. It says, Trust ye not in a friend, put ye not confidence in a guide. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom. Fellas, I understand we've done a lot of this in the past, but as you got older and begin to understand, you got to realize that you can't do it. I understand after some pelvic gymnastics, man, you feeling good, but even with this, fellas, you still got to use wisdom. You can't be telling these females every single thing that's on your mind. It's just not wise. I understand you feeling good, man. You just released all that manliness up in her. But see, it's at this time where many women know that we're vulnerable. We are the most vulnerable after we done released. And see, that's the time when you women usually want to say, "Oh, I liked it and I enjoy being with you," and all this other stuff. And then you just start, the floodgates of your mind just start opening up, and you tell this chick everything, which this guy fell victim to. Because as we continue to play this story, he's going to tell you how this chick knew everything about him, especially the life insurance policy. But that comes later. But we're going to let this play.
Our plan was to get enough information to take to the police. And that's where it all started.
My name is Lieutenant Mike Atkins, and I helped investigate the murder for hire plot involving Ramon Sosa. As soon as I meet Ramon, he seems genuine. He seems concerned, obviously looking for help. At this point, it's up to us to listen to what he has to say, determine what we can do to help. Mundo, while he was working out one day at the gym, overheard Lulu. He obviously got concerned and sort of interjected himself into the conversation just so he could gather some intelligence.
¿Qué pasó, Lulu? Nada, pues nomás ellos, bueno, con lo que usted ofreció, pues de perdido saben que todavía está en serio que quiere que lo maten, todo está bien.
Sí, sí. No, sí, definitivo. O sea, de que se lo echen. No vale madre, eso, ¿no? Y de que les voy a pagar.
So the first time the hitman made contact with Lulu, we were in a local liquor store parking lot. If you could turn to the dictionary and look up the word hitman, you would see his picture there. He was that realistic. It's important that it can't be construed that she just wanted him beat up or she wanted him scared. There needed to be a commitment and there needed to be a trade of some sort of monetary value that would conclude with Mr. Sosa being killed.
And then Lulu, out of all things, she said, well, I don't have all the money right now, but when he dies, I can give you the money. He had the life insurance. He already knew how much I was worth after I died. Out of all things, he gave him watches and wedding bands and bracelets, my own jewelry as a down payment for my own murder. It's crazy.
What does the scripture say on that? A wicked woman abateth courage. He calls it feeble knees and hands. That's like, man, I'm going to get something different. Ecclesiastes 25 and 19. It says, all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. And this chick was wicked. She came from Mexico with no husband, 2 children, life in shambles, meets a guy, marries him, gets a visa, has a business that's bringing in money, now wants to put him in the afterlife, and in order to pay for this hit, she's using his own possessions to pay for the hit. Boy, I tell you, man, fellas, fellas, look here, man. I'm not saying your woman may not go to this extreme, but don't put it past her, man. All women are capable of this wickedness. That's why the scripture says, and you can see the look on his face. He like, what? He really can't believe that this is happening. And that's why the scripture says, marvel not if she trespassed against thee. Ecclesiastes 26:11. It says, watch over an impudent eye. And it says, and marvel not if she trespass against thee. Fellas, we're in a day and age where we can't do the whole I love you, I'm blindly in love with you, and the hope strategy. Okay? When it comes to these females, you have to handle them according to the scripture, which means you have to understand them. See, you can't understand women and love them at the same time. They don't go hand in hand. Either you love them blindly and you get hurt by all this madness and foolishness that they do, or you just understand them and know that they have the potential to do all of these things if you get with them. All right? So let's continue on.
At that point, it was decided that we are going to follow through, show her pictures of Mr. Sosa just to get her reaction. I think it's important when the jury hear the elements of the crime, they also get to know a little bit about the person as well.
They said, look, she's a beautiful lady, mother of two. You guys own a business here locally, and a lot of people know you. We just don't want to take a chance if we go to a jury trial for one of the jurors to feel sorry for her. So we need to make this case a slam dunk case. They pulled out actual pictures of dead people. They picked that one with the bullet on the side of his head, and they said, this is the one we're going to do on you.
Basically, they couldn't have nobody being a simp, feeling sorry for her.
You can still see the hole, even though weeds have grown up. Brings back a lot of bad memories, man. Sad memories coming over here. They brought me over here in a SUV that was blacked out. They had me in makeup, put my hands behind my back, even threw dirt on me. And all I could hear was the clicking of the 35 millimeter. And this is my gravesite in the middle of a dump yard, middle of nowhere over here.
We have the photos, we have the initial agreement. All we need now is the reaction.
Pues, de guapa.
She paid him the rest of the money.
Tengo 1000.
And I get upset about how Lulu reacted when the officer showed her the picture of me dead.
No se levanta ya.
She started laughing and raising her hands, and I told people like she hit the lotto. This is her big shot. After I've seen the video hundreds of times, it's just still difficult for me to see because it brings back so many bad memories.
Naturally, he was heartbroken. But I think deep down he was hoping that she would not take it this far. We decide that we're going to wear cameras. We're going to go to the gym.
Sorry about that. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Showed them pictures that she was dead and she just laughed. That's why the scripture says that she wipeth her mouth. All right, Proverbs 30:20. Such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eateth and wipeth her mouth and saith, I have done no wickedness. She saw nothing wrong with what she was doing so far, so much to the point where she laughed at the fact that he was dead. And fellas, you also have to keep this in mind that many of these women don't care about you. All right. If you were to get beat up, shot, stabbed, ran over, anything where your life is no longer on this earth, they would not care. Now, we're not saying all women, but a good majority of them will be doing this. And see, he said when he saw this video, he was so brokenhearted. And now I want to get this one where it says a wicked woman abateth courage. It's in Ecclesiastes. It calls it feeble knees. Yep, Ecclesiastes 25 and 23. And it says, a wicked woman abateth the courage. He was heartbroken. Maketh a heavy countenance and a wounded heart. Let me read that again. A wicked woman abateth courage. Let's get that word abate. All right. It says abate. To put an end to cause, to cease, to become null and void. Nullify, make void. So to reduce in amount or size or value. Ooh, baby. So it says a wicked woman reduces or puts an end to a man's courage. And it says maketh a heavy countenance. He was sad and wounded heart. He was brokenhearted, like his mind was shattered because he couldn't believe that his wife not only would do this, but she would laugh at the fact that she succeeded in her enterprise. And it says a woman that will not comfort her husband, which she did, in distress maketh weak hands and feeble knees. This dude was hurt to the core. And that's why the scripture says, give me any plague but a plague of the heart. All right. Let me get that one too. Because that's also a good one. I wasn't planning on this being this long, but these scriptures fit this. It would help to spell plague, right? Yes. Or is it in Ecclesiastes? Yep, Ecclesiastes 25 and 13. Give me any plague but the plague of the heart, and any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman. Yeah. Yeah. Let's continue, fellas.
And we are going to tell Lulu that we are investigating a missing person.
When's the last time you saw Mr. Sosa?
We saw him on Wednesday 15th, the last day.
At this point, Lulu acts as if she has no idea what is going on.
So he hasn't contacted you in the last 24 hours?
No.
We have the last piece that we needed was her denying knowledge of any of this. So when we explained to her that she is under arrest, she is completely dumbfounded.
Okay, Miss Sosa, stand up, please. You're under arrest. Okay, you're under arrest.
Why?
Okay, ma'am, it's okay. Stay back. We have a warrant.
A wicked woman looks in the mirror, wipes her face, said, I have done nothing wrong. Why? What happened? Hey, fellas, marvel not if she trespass against thee. Man.
Lulu elected not to go to trial. she elected to take a 20-year plea deal in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice?
Because there was so much evidence against her that if she would have gone to trial, she probably would have gotten life.
Look at that face. Look at that face. Look at that face. That's why the scripture says, hey, what was it, darkeneth her image of sackcloth? Sackcloth. Where is it? We'll just do wickedness. It's in Ecclesiasticus. It's probably in 25, but I want to make sure. Yep. Ecclesiasticus 25 and 17. It says, the wickedness of a woman changeth her face and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth. I said, look at that. No pity, no remorse, no nothing about what she did. Like killing a man, I was like, oh, okay, I guess I just got caught. No big deal. And then they got the nerve to only give her 20 years. That bitch needs to be serving like 30, 40. So when she gets out, she has none of her beauty left. Let's continue. And that's taking it easy on her.
It was just a release of all of that pressure, and I walked away. I would have gotten life in the state of Texas. I remember at the hearing when she was sentenced, it was a packed courthouse, a lot of media were there, and I forgave her. It was just a release of all of that pressure, and I walked away. And she never looked at me once. The reason I'm sitting here talking to you is because of the decision that Mundo took. And I will forever be in debt to Mundo for saving my life.
I don't think I'll run across another murder for hire plot. At least I hope I don't. But if we do, I definitely know how to handle it.
All right. And see, he said, man, that guy Mundo, he's like, that's my dude right there. Mundo, I will forever be indebted to Mundo. He saved my life. All right. And that's why we're going to go to Ecclesiastes, was it 6? And 13. It says, separate thyself from thy enemies and take heed of thy friends. Mundo. A faithful friend is a strong defense. Yeah. Because Mundo gave him the information he needed to defend himself so he could save his life. Save his own life. That was a strong defense, and help him put his wife in prison. If that ain't a faithful friend, I don't know what is. And he says, and he that hath found such as one hath found a treasure. It says, nothing doth countervail a faithful friend. Let's get that word, countervail. To have the same value as, to counteract, counterbalance, or neutralize, to compensate for. Okay? So when we put that definition into here, it says nothing doth neutralize or nothing can counteract or come close to a faithful friend. And his excellences unvaluable. That means there's no amount of worth that's greater than a faithful friend. As he said, I'm forever. He said, I'm forever indebted to Mundo. And it says, a faithful friend is the medicine of life, and they that fear the Lord shall find him. It says, whoso feareth the Lord shall direct his friendship aright. And that was all the doing of the Lord. The Lord put Mundo in that spot so he can get the intel and go back and tell the guy that, hey man, your wife is trying to kill you. You need to be on guard. That was the Lord's doing. As the scripture says, man's goings of the Lord. How then can a man know his own way? It was the Lord that directed Mundo's path that day so he could save that man. Okay? And it says, for as he is, so shall his neighbor be also. See, Mundo seemed like a pretty good dude. And so the Lord put him in the place where he could be with another good man. But fellas, let this story be as a warning and a friendly reminder. As I said earlier in this sit down, I understand we get on Keisha a lot, but Josefina be on that bullshit too. And not just Josefina, all the tribes and all the women, okay? It's not just Keisha. All right, fellas, stay on your guard, as the scripture says. Stay circumspect. Keep your eyes open when you decide to deal with these women. Vet them out. Ask the tough questions. Okay, this is the whole reason why many of these women don't like the fact that you got guys out there like Kevin Samuels and Coach Greg Adams, Donovan Sharp, 33 Secrets, Alpha Male Strategies. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. That's why women don't like guys like this, because they're on YouTube telling you you need to ask the tough questions. Asking the tough questions will save you a lot of headache. And in some very rare and extreme circumstances, like this guy, it could possibly also save you your own life. So, this was, I'm sorry this was so long, but uh, yeah, I just had to do a sit down on this. This was heavy. So I hope you all were edified. Until the next time, we're going to say shalom.